As a matter of fact, the management and exploitation of water resources are under great pressure. Rapid urbanization and industrialization have led to increasing demand for water for socio-economic development, while water resources continue to decline both in quantity and quality. Some river basins have been overexploited, especially during the dry seasons. At the same time, water pollution is increasing in either scale or size. Water is available at many places, but is not able to be used due to polluted water source. Facing these difficulties and challenges, Vietnam's water industry has been focusing more on reforming policies, attracting investment resources, improving the quality of various resources, applying scientific and technological advances. And adopting smart water management solutions is an indispensable trend, especially as we are embracing the era of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. This is also the focus of the workshop entitled Smart Water Management Towards Sustainable Development in the series of events before the Vietwater 2018 exhibition later this year.
We are actually very pleased this exhibition that we are promoting is 10 years old. The interest in water has increased over the years. This topic is very important for Vietnam. Water must be managed very well for the interest of economic development and social development for Vietnam.
Hello, you're watching Shane Vietnam. Smart water management towards sustainable development is a very important topic. It's getting more attention from authorities. Today, Mr. Paul Smith from Australian Water Association will share with us their experience, especially in private-public partnership or PPP. Hello, thank you so much for joining our show today. So, how is the situation of water resource in the world nowadays?
Water is essential for all living organisms and human health on life. We cannot live without water for more than a few days. Water is also critical for the economic prosperity of any region and will be a key player in global security going forward. Some argue that water will be the cause of major conflicts going forward. It is essential we get the management of water right.
Talking particularly about water pollution, how's the world facing this issue?
Since industrialisation, all the world's major rivers have increased pollution. The situation is going to get worse with increasing urbanisation and rapid industrialisation. But there is hope. With advances in technology innovation, we can deal with wastewater and accommodate urban expansion and industrialisation. The answer is innovation and partnerships. Partnerships not between only the water sector and the international water sectors, but the water sector and many other sectors such as urban planning, roads, electricity, rail, all coming together to integrate under a sustainable way.
And in the new context, whether is water management the same as it was in the past?
No.
The world is changing.
The world is changing radically, and so is the way we manage water. And advances in technology innovation now enable us to do things like turn seawater into drinking water. We can turn wastewater into viable agricultural fertiliser. In Australia, we now drink recycled wastewater that is guaranteed safe for drinking. So we are very optimistic with the advances in technology innovation that we can deal with the growth in pollution and live sustainably going forward.
And how do you assess the role of smart water management in the development of sustainable water in the world and a country in particular?
I see smart management of water being four fundamental things: that water is safe for human consumption, that everyone has safe drinking water, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of where you live. I believe water must be sustainable. Water must be efficiently delivered. That means that it is affordable for everyone, rich and poor. Everyone should have access to efficient water. And water must be secure, particularly in a time of changing climate and diminishing water availability. We must find new ways of securing water so that all of the world has water for all their needs.
With the participation of leading experts from government agencies, local and international organizations and enterprises, the workshop is an opportunity to share the necessity of upgrading water management to a higher level, as well as policies and technologies to smartly manage water towards sustainable development.
Về cái giải pháp thông minh thì nó đi rất là nhiều cái mảng khác nhau trong cái lĩnh vực cấp thoát nước, từ cái việc khai thác, sản xuất, truyền tải, phân phối cũng như là hệ thống thu gom nước thải và xử lý nước thải.
Đối với hệ thống cấp nước, đó là chúng tôi ứng dụng các cái chương trình về GIS trong cái quản lý mạng lưới, rồi SCADA trong cái điều khiển, giám sát, rồi các cái chương trình về quản lý e-billing, về quản lý khách hàng, và chúng tôi có một cái trung tâm điều khiển giám sát để mà đảm bảo về vận hành hoạt động một cách thông minh nhất.
In recent years, the application of smart technologies to water management has been implemented by many enterprises, but only at small levels and not synchronously yet. Companies face problems of resources and finance to implement smart management projects. In this context, there are solutions open to businesses such as BT, BOO, or Public-Private Partnership (PPP).
Hiện nay trong ngành cấp thoát nước thì rất nhiều dự án đã được triển khai theo hình thức là BOO là chính, có nghĩa là xây dựng, vận hành và sở hữu cái hệ thống hạ tầng đó. Đó là một lợi thế bởi vì dự án theo kiểu BO đã được thực hiện từ những thời gian đầu tới nay. Còn hợp tác công tư thực ra theo tôi thì cũng sẽ được triển khai áp dụng với những cái ngành nước và cấp thoát nước, bởi vì cái quy mô cho những cái dự án thế này nó sẽ lớn hơn nhiều so với những cái quy mô của dự án BO trước đó. Thì tôi cũng tin rằng đây là một cái xu thế cũng như là cái định hướng để mà chúng ta có thể áp dụng được những cái công nghệ thông tin cho cái mảng cấp thoát nước nói chung.
Around the world, governments have been using public-private partnership (PPP) models for more than 20 years to meet the growing demand for infrastructure-related services. By transforming financial burdens into private investors, PPP helps governments do more jobs without sacrificing so many resources. In particular, PPP contributes to the efficiency of service delivery. There are many types of PPP model, each with different levels of private sector involvement. However, different countries will have their own options to adapt to the actual situation, resources, and so on. But they are all aiming for smart water management towards sustainable development. And according to you, what are the most important factors in smart water management?
The private sector has a very important role to play in water management. They can bring new advances in technology innovation that can enable water to be delivered more cost effectively. But importantly, in Australia and Vietnam and all over the world, we need new sources of capital, particularly at a time when governments' budgets are constrained. The private sector has the capital and they are willing to invest in water, but it is important that as the private sector increases in countries like Vietnam and Australia, that the regulation is in place to protect both the public so that the private sector does not price too much, but also protect the private sector so that they can get a return on their investment in the water sector. Getting those regulations right so that the public and private sector can work together for the mutual benefit of the environment and the people that we deliver water to is fundamental.
And do you mind sharing your experience in Australia in calling for the participation of private sector?
Sure, we have learnt much in Australia over 20 years of nationally coordinated water reforms to enable the private sector to play a key role. We have made many mistakes along that journey, and mistakes that we now wish to share with Vietnam so they avoid making those same mistakes. But we think we have got it right now, and the private sector plays a very key role in delivering safe, secure, sustainable and efficient water services. But central to enabling private sector participation has been a government enabling environment, and most importantly economic regulation that sets the price path that is both affordable for the public to buy water, but again protects the private sector enterprises from not going bankrupt. There are many investors in Australia and across the world that are looking very closely at the Vietnam water sector to invest, and they do so because water has a stable, long-term return on investment, and particular superannuation funds and other large investors such as our partner ANZ Bank are very interested in investing significant funds in the water sector. So for them to have confidence to invest, the regulations that have now been developed in Vietnam will go a long way forward to giving them the confidence to invest significant resources to meet Vietnam's infrastructure funding shortfall so that everyone in Vietnam can get access to safe and secure water.
And from your experience, do you have any recommendation for Vietnam in developing a smart water management, especially in PPP aspect?
We think Vietnam is making significant strides in their pursuit of equitisation of water utilities, and much is being done in Vietnam. Very strong national policy is being developed, and we now understand that there are circulars to enable the implementation of that strong national policy. It will take time for those circulars to be developed and implemented at the local level to the point that the private sector has confidence to invest and that the government has confidence to bring the private sector in. A key debate we often hear is water an economic commodity that can be bought and sold at a full cost recovery, or is water a human right where the government must control and subsidise so that the whole of the population can afford it? We think the experience in Australia is getting the optimal balance between water as an economic commodity and a human right are both important. So getting the regulation and enabling environment right to enable both water to be bought and sold as an economic commodity whilst protecting the public's interest in affordable water sources is something that Vietnam and Australia are sharing our experiences on to support Vietnam attract the capital they require to meet the infrastructure funding shortfalls.
Thank you so much for sharing. And that's all for Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.